Hey guys, and firstly, a massive Happy New Year to every single one of you, from myself, Eileen, the rest of the family, everybody at Open Skies PMB. We love the start of a new year, and we just really believe that this year could be the best year we've ever had. And as I said at the beginning of last year, I honestly believe that 2023 will be the best year that you've ever had, if it's your best year spiritually. As I look back over 2022, I know it was the best year that I've ever had for sure in my life. Not the easiest, because some really big challenges to face, but all in all, when I just review the year and I look at what God did in and throughout the year and the growth that we experienced and just His goodness in and through the whole year, and just the sense of His presence in our services and in our lives and many things in our family as well, I honestly believe that was the best year that they ever had. And I really want to encourage you guys that God is a God who wants to keep taking us forward. And as we go into 2023, I really believe that He doesn't want us to shrink back. He doesn't want us to take our foot off the gas spiritually. There's always more in Him. There's more to be discovered. There's more to seek. There's more to learn. And so we're very excited about 2023. We honestly believe that God is going to do some incredible things in and through Open Skies PMB. And that really involves you guys. So strap your seatbelts. Let's get ready for a fantastic year this year. So today, obviously, as you guys know, we don't have church in person. We have an online only service. We're giving everybody a rest. We call it Sabbath Sunday. Once a year, we just give all our volunteers, the staff, everybody just one Sunday off. Really, really good. Spend time with family, just not have to set up the church and pack it down and all the rest of it. And so we're online only today. And what we've done is we've recorded a special service with a panel between myself and Eileen and Graydon and Annika, really just chatting about the year that was 2022, and just kind of unpacking a few things that we learned and a few things that God said to us. And so I hope that you guys enjoy it. As I said, this is just a once-off, that we don't have any church in person. We will be back in the room again next weekend, and we cannot wait to be with you guys. And the next few weeks, in fact, are going to be absolutely incredible. We've got some fantastic things planned, so you really do not want to miss what's bound to just be something that we're going to kick off an incredible year with. And so we're really looking forward to seeing you, all of you guys, back in person again. But until then, guys, sending lots of love from all of us. God bless and enjoy the service.
Well, hey guys, and welcome to our Sabbath Sunday, our church online that we always do once a year. It's the 1st of January today, and we always just take this Sunday, but just straight after Christmas, to let everybody have a bit of a break from church. That goes for our staff, but also goes for the volunteers. We have the most amazing church, the most amazing volunteers, and it's just a great privilege to give everybody the day off. So no in-person service today, as you guys are aware. We're back with you again in person from next week. But really, we wanted to just take this opportunity to talk a little bit about some of the things that God has done in 2022, and just look back and share some of our thoughts of the year, some of the highlights, some of the tough times maybe as well that we've been through personally, also as a church. And, it's so important, I think, to look back periodically, to realize what God has done and to give Him all the glory as well, but also just to see what He's developing and building in your life. And I think as you get older, you realize that when God says something, it's not just kind of for the sake of it, but He really wants to bring to completion whatever He starts, and He wants to outwork some of the things that He is doing in our lives. And so that's kind of where we're going today, chatting about a few things. We're going to have a little bit of fun as well. We've got the amazing staff here of Open Skies PMB, and guys are looking good today. Very, very good.
It's a new year. We're feeling fresh.
New year, feeling good. It's actually not the new year when we're filming this, just in case you didn't catch that. But Graydon's always looking good.
My best, yeah,
very nice, very nice. How are you guys doing? All okay? Are we feeling good?
Yeah.
Are you feeling
good.
rested on the 1st of Jan that you guys are not at church today? On this day?
Yes, we actually had a great night's sleep.
Prophesied. Speak it out. There we go.
We're still in our pajamas at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just a good day.
Yeah. No, but we're feeling good. We're feeling good, and excited for everything ahead. But we've had an amazing year.
We've recently got. I don't know why it's taken us so long, but we recently put up like proper curtains in Josh's room, which actually block out the sun
Block out,
completely.
yeah.
Wow.
The ones
Everything.
before were so thin that basically the sun would come in, and he is actually sleeping a little bit later. Although the morning
Praise
of filming
Jesus.
this, he was up quite early,
Nice.
sleeping with me. But I hope you guys have invested in proper curtains, or at least
Yeah, we've hung everything on
Yeah, there's a lot of things hanging in front of
curtains, black material, like
Yeah,
you know.
underwear,
Yeah,
just
everything
whatever.
possible.
you know.
DIY block out.
Exactly.
Every hole.
Yeah, but it hasn't helped too much because Jesse's waking up early, so I'm strolling the streets before 6 a.m.
Yes.
taking him for walks.
So
and it's
if
like-
you see Graydon by any chance at 5 a.m. on the streets, just
Yeah.
give him a
Or
coffee
someone
or a
that-
smile.
or someone that slightly resembles Graydon but looks 30 years older.
just give him a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
If he doesn't wave, if if you drive past and you say something and maybe he pulls a rude sign
Yeah.
instead of waving at you, you just know that actually there's a reason for
Definitely,
it.
yeah.
He's actually still sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey guys, so let me just start by kind of asking this question maybe to the team, and we can all take a turn here. Just I think we're going to do this kind of in two parts and talk a little bit about, as a church, what we've experienced God do in 2022. I think we'll all agree that 2022 has been our best year as well as one of the most difficult years that we've had. It's a really funny thing in ministry where it's hard to sometimes differentiate. Sometimes we see life in black and white, and like, have things been good or have they been bad? And it's like most of the time they're both. It's like most of the time there's incredible challenges, but at the same time you see God's faithfulness in the challenges. And I think for us, certainly as a church, we've seen more growth as a church in 2022 than any previous years, both in the physical amount of people that are coming to church, the ministries that we've been involved with in the schools and different areas, and the reach that we've sort of had. We've seen more growth financially, which has been just a great blessing, because as we always say to everybody, of course, we never do this for the money, and we believe that God provides for us. But at the end of the day, we can only move forward in our vision at the speed at which the finances are provided for, and it's been amazing to see that come through. We had an amazing Heart for the House with that this year as well. I'd say our general sense of culture and families really grown this year. Just a lot of really good things that we've seen in 2022 in terms of growth and what God has done. What's some of the highlights for you guys? Maybe we start with you, Babe. What's some of the sort of great things that you've seen in 2022 and through Open Skies PMB?
It's a really tough question. We were just joking around before we started filming, saying like the beginning of the year feels like 10 years ago, because like Tom said, it was a really tough year in many ways, but also a really great year. And we started off the year with a great Vision Sunday, where we started with 4 things that you said: knowing God, what is it? Finding freedom,
Discovering
purpose, and
make a difference.
making a difference. That last one is awesome. And I really, as the years gone past, it has been amazing to watch how that has really rolled out in people's life, in the church community's life, and the kind of 3 pillars that we've tried to focus on in the year was worship, word, and prayer. And that has been like, when Tom spoke about growth, that's really been the 3 areas that has grown so much. And with the word, the Beatitudes series was amazing. We really got stuck in the word and practical things that we went through as a church. It was amazing. I loved that series. There was another one called Trust, which is also cool. That was a really great series. Also, getting stuck into the word. We had an awesome teaching night that we did with Vonnie that came in, and that was a really a real change in lots of lives, and that came about. And then it was also all our worship nights. That was so powerful. And we've seen the church grow in their worship, and not just like a Sunday worship kind of lifestyle, but how people have caught the culture and the heart of worship from a Monday to a Saturday as well. And Gray, you've done so well with that and pioneering, being on stage every Sunday. That has really been amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And you guys?
You guys, I mean, if you had to pick, let's just say like 1 or 2 highlights from all these things that have happened in the year, what would it be for you guys?
I'll go first. Thank you. I think 2022 has been an interesting year, because I think in the context of like our church history, it's almost been like the first uninterrupted year that we've had. Obviously the first couple years of our existence, we had COVID. That was like a bit of a mess, to be honest. And then, 2021 was quite hard. We had the rioting, also COVID, all that kind of stuff. So 2022 has been so cool because we've really been able to, I guess, see God build, almost layer by layer, family by family, person by person, as the years progressed. And it's just been so special to see, because like some of the church lingo is we really want momentum, as a church, as a ministry, we want to grow and have momentum. And those momentum breakers that we had were so upsetting, where it's just good things start happening, we started a church, wow, and then it's just have a momentum breaker, and so to just see God just build on it, in multiple areas, I think has been so cool. I think one of the highlights for me was doing the freedom course that we did, more in our home groups. I think that was really special because, being a part of a specific home group, I got to see people actually wrestle with some real things, which I think is so rewarding because, I know it's something that we're looking for next year is that we don't just want to talk about stuff on Sundays and then it's oh, that was, Pastor Tom, thank you for that message. That was amazing.
Great performance.
Yeah, great performance. Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week for another edition of, So I think that was really special for me. And I think also, obviously something that I'm completely biased towards is worship, and to see, I know that was one of our real desires at the start of the year, is we want us to be a worshiping church, and to see that unfold has been so special. And obviously the sky's the limit in terms of that, but to really see people, we spoke about it a lot as well, which was quite cool. We trust that it's going to be caught, but we also really taught about it, and to see people kind of take their individual steps, whatever it is, some of the real men that stand in the back.
I've seen a few toes tapping.
I've seen it, some toe tapping.
Just a bit of toe tapping.
Yeah,
it's interesting when you walk through from the back,
Yes.
and you just look at the feet every now and then.
It's so nice, yeah. It's just beautiful, the toe tapping. Yeah, it is just so cool, and even for me, that's actually more beautiful than a big hype where it's just everyone's jumping and no one really knows why, but we're all doing it kind of thing. To actually see the individuals in the room, I'm blessed to have the best view in the house, every Sunday, but to see the individuals really thinking about it, wrestling with it, and then really trying it out, implementing their faith and their journey has just been so special. So I guess, there's lots of highlights, but those two things for me have been really, really cool. Just people, all of us just going on a journey together individually has been so cool. Yeah.
I think for me, so this year obviously was a big one for us because we had our first baby.
Really gave birth to something.
Yeah, something new.
Yeah, amazing.
So for me personally, I've been in a different spot where maybe before I was on stage or in the front more, but now I'm in the back more, with other moms and with the crying babies. It's really great. So that's been interesting, and I've actually literally had a different perspective of church and seeing it from a different place. And so for me, I've loved seeing the family life grow in our church and literally seeing more families join our church, kids' church, and how awesome that is and what a blessing it actually is to a lot of parents. And so one of my highlights, I think, would be Heart for the House and the family day that we did afterwards. I just love seeing that community kind of thing and the families come together. And, families can look different. It's not the traditional family, but just church as a family. And I loved seeing that and just being a part of that in a different way, in a new way, and really being in the midst of all of that is so special. So that was definitely one of my highlights. I love our family days. And then just, actually the very ordinary, normal Sundays where nothing special is maybe happening, but there are moments in those services and a conversation that you have with someone that's really a potent, a God-ordained moment, So I've loved those ordinary moments where God really shows up, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. I think for me, there's probably a bunch of things, but and agree with all these guys on a lot of the points that they made. But maybe just to add to that, one other thing we haven't spoken about is we did an Alpha course in the third term, and that was also just really, really good. Kind of up in Hilton to get into that area a little bit more as well. And we've done many, many Alpha courses, and it's always amazing to me how people really do grow, and they, it's kind of designed for anyone really, whether you're a brand new Christian or you're still, seeking things or whatever it is. And we've actually had a few people join the church because of the Alpha course, and just amazing to see that the avenue is growing as well. And we had a lot of fun up in Harrington House, and who knows, we're hoping to do one in this year as well, in 2023 as well. But just another great highlight. And I think just to wrap up that sort of section, I think for us, generally, just the consistency of church, as Graydon was saying, for those people who don't know our story, we started Open Skies PMB 7 months before the first lockdown hit, before COVID really hit. And so it's been a very interrupted run of church that we've had. And I think we keep thinking every holiday or every season that we're going to see less numbers, or we're going to sort of start again. We always have this feeling like, when are we going to start again? Because we've started again so many times. We've had 3 venues in 3 years, and really felt like nomads in many ways. Hey? And just to see the stretch of consistency, I think has been amazing, and sort of leads me on to some of the stuff I want to talk about personally. But at the beginning of the year, I really felt God give me the word trust, and Psalm 37 was the psalm that I kind of had as the one that I kept sharing with everybody and through the staff. And we actually took a week to pray and fast for the first time ever in 2022 as a church. And again, I would say we've seen such great fruit from that. That people came along and prayed with us and fasted for us, and we're going to do it again this year, guys. So get ready, enjoy your leftover Christmas lunch and all the food that you're eating right now, because we've got to get ready to fast fairly soon. But Psalm 37, which is really this word trust, and it says, don't worry about the wicked or envy those who do wrong, for like grass, they will soon fade away, like spring flowers, they will soon wither. Trust in the Lord and do good, then you will live safely in the land and prosper. And it's just so like this keeps coming back to this word trust. If you trust Him, you'll prosper. If you trust Him, things will be okay. You'll be safe in the land. Everything will be all right. The famous part of the scripture is, take delight in the Lord, and He will give you your heart's desires. Commit everything you do to the Lord. Trust Him, and He will help you. He will make your innocence radiate like the dawn, and your justice, the justice of your cause will shine like the noonday sun. And I think we've seen that in some ways where schools have trusted us more, and other people have slowly, and the people in the congregation, I would say, have started to trust Open Skies PMB a little bit more, as they realize that our trust is in God, that we're fully doing this for Him. And so I think for me, if I had to kind of sum up some of the main things that God has done in my life in 2022, I'd say it's just been an ongoing journey of trusting God, which has really meant that I've had to surrender. It's really meant that I've had to continually let go of control. I've had to continually hand over to Him. And I just honestly found the more that I've done that, the better things go. Just moment after moment this year, whenever I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's because of our history and launching, during crazy times and the lockdowns and the riots and all this kind of stuff. And as you get older as well, there's this thing that keeps wanting to creep in, that you almost have this impending doom sense like the whole time. And when things are going well, you're like, things are going a bit too well, At some stage, this whole thing's going to fall apart. And I've really been fighting that in the last couple of years, and just saying, God, if I fully trust You, I can't live with that sense of like, at some stage, our congregation's going to halve, or we're going to have to start again, or whatever it is. But the more that I found personally that I've taken God at His word with these things, and we did that series Eileen was talking about on trust, and really just spend time surrendering, on such a regular basis. God, I just give everything to You. I let go of control. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I know that You've got a plan. I'm not sure what's next, but I know that You're good, and you're gonna do the right thing at the right time. I just found that I've wrestled in that space, and I've started to live that out. And the more that I've done that, the better things have gone. And so that's kind of some of the things that I've experienced in 2022. How about you guys? What are some of the things that you've had to wrestle with, or that you've learned, maybe even through some of the word and through some of the series we've done, or just even personally, what God has kind of said to you? Who wants to have a turn?
I'll go.
Nice.
Yeah, babe, you just said exactly what I wanted to say. The surrender thing was a big thing for me this year as well, also with the trust series that we did. For me, it was a journey of my first time homeschooling Nathan, and it was very unknown and very, I didn't study teaching. I'm just like a mom, so that's all I really have. And going into it, I didn't know a thing. So it was really a complete surrendering journey. Every step I took, because I didn't know what was happening and how am I going to do this and how is Nathan going to respond. And so it was amazing to see how God came through with every step as I surrendered. He came through. He provided every single thing that we needed. It was I cannot actually talk. There's just God's faithfulness and God's goodness this year I've experienced in such a different way as I've surrendered, and just thinking that really relying on the Holy Spirit as I went on this homeschooling journey, and right people at the right time, the right things that Nathan needed, and just how God has even the connections with the people, and Nathan like really flourishing and really doing what no matter what I would have done wrong or right, God is the only one that could have provided Nathan with what he has benefited with having that quality time at home. And it was amazing to see, like I said, like God's goodness and faithfulness coming through in every single thing that is just undescribable. And also just with the church, my heart has been like, the church has really gone through a tough year, and God has healed, God has restored, God has provided. I know if we had to put a survey out, I know that the church would come back with hundreds of stories how God has come through and how the community has really grown, the caring, the loving, like Annika said, that Sunday conversation that happens it's really a community doing life together, looking after each other, praying for each other. As an intercessor group, we pray for everybody, and how the requests come in and people know that we are praying, and they also just so they know that God comes through. The church prays, God will come through, God will provide, and there's such confidence in that, and that has really like blessed my heart this year. Like honestly, it is a privilege to be building alongside such a beautiful community of people, and how God has really, in the tough times, taken us deeper through, like we've spoken about earlier, through worship, through the word, and it's just such a vulnerable, but such a, raw, beautiful thing to see. And yeah, that was really, really awesome for me this year. And so excited for next year. Like I know that as we carry on with that same attitude of humility and surrendering to what God has for us as a church and for us individually, He's going to continue to provide and continue as we walk confidently and boldly in the grace that He's given us in each season, that it's things are just going to flourish. So I'm so excited for that.
Okay, I'll go. Are you sure you don't go? Huh. Okay. Yeah, I think personally for me, it's kind of like our story together, is, this year has been such an adventure for us, having a baby. And our first one, like all of us go through it, but it's like, you like, I don't know, read books and, get yourself ready. And it's just like, nothing can ever.
There's nothing. There's
No,
nothing that could ever prepare you. Hey?
No, honestly, there's nothing that can prepare you for it. And I think for me personally, it's been like the most stretching year that I think I've ever had in my whole life, like trying like my best to like, learn how to be a dad and be a good dad and, still be a good husband and then still like do all the church stuff as well. And I just found myself learning like a few lessons, but the biggest lesson for me is that like, really, it's almost like you understand that you're not enough, like for what God has called you to do. If it's just you, if it's just you by yourself, like trying to make everything happen and trying to, counsel all the people and preach all the sermons and lead all the worship and do all, like you are not enough, and you need God, and so there's almost like this, like well that's like, I think God has created in me, and probably for you too, there's this well that God has created where it's like He has to fill it because it's from that place that you're pouring out, And so I felt like there's so many Sundays, and, people ask me like, actually it's quite offensive. Most Sundays, like, you okay? Like you look tired, I'm just like, because I am, And yet, like getting up on a Sunday and I'm going to lead worship, but God, it might be a little messy and it might be a little like maybe I'm not at my best, but like it's going to be real. Like it's going to be me, and it's going to be who I am right now, And I found such freedom in that, knowing that I don't have to be like this perfect, like looks like he's got everything together. Like I'm just going to be who I am, and I'm going to be in this season, and I know that if I trust God, He's going to still use me, and He's still going to bring something good out of it. It's just like such a testament to the fact that it's not me doing the work. Like it's God through me that's doing the work, and that's been a cool place to come to, even though it's been so hard. It's like, yo, God, like I'm not gonna worry, like you're gonna do it, I don't have to demand people like to worship. Like it's like you're gonna speak to your people, It's the same when you're preaching. It's like, God, you're gonna speak to your people. I'm not gonna be the clever one, So that's been really cool to learn personally, is that it's like there's too much work for me to do. And that's a good thing because it's God's work at the end of the day. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, that's something that I've really learned. Yeah.
So basically, don't ask us if we're tired, because the answer is yes. Always yes. But not this year, right?
Not this year.
No.
Yeah.
We're prophesying. Yeah, so obviously just going to add to that because we're in the same season. And have been this year, and it has been hectic and overwhelming and beautiful and crazy and chaotic. Yeah, but I think then my personal kind of revelation that I've had throughout this season is just how God has absolutely, and there's just no doubt in my mind if there ever was before, but made us for community, and how important community is, and how beautiful it is, and how, I don't know how people can do without it. It's impossible, and I think I've learned that more than ever this year. Yeah, just being in that season where you can feel very lonely, being a new mom and like being up at stupid hours in the morning, feeling like you're the only person awake in the world, it can feel very lonely. So I've just been so overwhelmed with love from our community and our church, and people like dropping off meals, and I know like they do that in the beginning when you have your baby, but like throughout the year, like we'd get someone who comes and just brings us a meal and blesses us, or someone would like, often I would just get a message saying, hey, how's it going, are you okay? And sometimes the answer would be no, and I just need a good cry, and they'd be there, and like just feeling like I'm part of this community, I'm part of this church. Yes, we help to lead it, but actually this is our church, these are our people, this is our community, and we're living through it together, and that has been so special. And yeah, actually very overwhelming like to talk about it, because yeah, it's been amazing just seeing how people are not just talking the talk, but they're walking the walk. And that's our community that we get to be a part of. And it's special and it's real. And yeah, I'm so grateful. We're so grateful for the church, and yeah, I'm gonna stop talking.
Yeah, I mean, really, like, I know, I think we talk about it often, but like I just feel like, and this is completely unbiased, but we have like the best like people in our church.
We do.
Honestly, like
Yeah.
just the most like lovely, genuine, generous, caring people, and it's just it's such a gift, because like whatever 3 years down the line from starting a church, you think like, oh, I wish we were a little bit bigger, or whatever. Like you have those types of like human thoughts, but it's like the type of people, the quality of people that we have is just like the most insane thing. And like God has been so good, and I know that the people that do call Open Skies PMB home, I know that they feel the same way. You look around at our volunteers before the service or after church, where like no one ever leaves. It's like that kind of thing. It's like, it's just you can't. I don't know.
You can't fake it.
You can't fake it, and you really can't put words to how like beautiful
Yeah.
and valuable that is.
Yeah.
It's just so special. It really is.
And I think, just to like close off my part of this is, I think for me personally, I can often err on the side of, it's okay, I'll do it, I'll manage, I'll do it on my own, and like that's always been like a bad, I think, quality in my life, because I err to that side. But God has totally created us for community, and now like just take advantage of it. Like that's what I would say, because it's there and people want to be that for each other, but it enlarges your heart for the community as well, and wanting to be there for other people too. And that's just when church works so beautifully. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I mean, it's quite an amazing thing to see how this is how the church is supposed to be, actually. But it's such a weird thing when you are part of pioneering a brand new church from the beginning, because it's like you have these things in your heart and in your mind, and you're like, wouldn't it be amazing if, And when you actually see it out working, I mean, for us, so many people might not know this, but in ministry, you really do give a lot of yourself, and of course we've answered that call, each one of us individually in our lives, and we've answered the call to Jesus, not just to the people, but you really give yourself to ministry. And I think when it's reciprocated, and when everybody understands that, and there's an honoring in it, and there's a support in it, and there's a proper community that's formed, and everybody, I think it's Dino who always says, when everybody brings something, then nobody lacks anything, or something like that. I mean, it sounds one of those things. It's like, yeah, that's pretty obvious, one of those things.
I think it's the way he says it.
Yeah, the way he says it's like as if it's so good. But
wow.
I mean, it does sort of make sense, I suppose. But really, we have seen that, where and it talks about that in the Bible, in 2 Peter, where he talks about we each one of us are living stones, and we're being formed in this spiritual household, and everybody brings something to it, And if we look around at our volunteers, and we look around at our community, and you guys that are probably watching this today, it's just amazing to see and to be part of that. And so, yeah, we are incredibly grateful. And yeah, I think for us, it's always from the very beginning, something that I've kind of struggled with in some ways is almost trying not to cast too much vision, because I've often sat down and people say, well, it actually happened this last Sunday. There was somebody at church for the first time, and he says, what does the next 5 years look like for Open Skies PMB? And I'm like, well, bro, if you'd asked me that 5 years ago, or just before the first lockdown had hit, like, you would have got a lie. That's the honest truth. But I think there's a lot that's in our hearts for what's to come. But really, at the end of the day, I think for every single one of us, the overarching thing is that we want to be obedient to God, and we've always just said we'll walk through whatever door He opens, and obviously we've got some things and some strategy and stuff that we want to see, and something we're trusting God for. But at the same time, I think if we're honest, we'll probably just say more of the same. Amen. Like just more of everything that we've been talking about now. Community worship, word, depth, and just everything that God is forming, the schools ministry, the outreach, seeing new people come in, families come in, a lot of that stuff. I think all of us just have the desire to see more of that, and we're really believing. We'll obviously give everybody a proper update at some point of Vision Sunday, and really talk through some things as we process them into the early parts of 2023. But I think the more that we pray about it, the more we sort of sensing that it's really just more of the same, but God really just wants to take us deeper, and isn't that a beautiful thing to build on, to have some, as we've been talking about it, some consecutive time to really strengthen and deepen the great work that God has started. So yeah, I don't know, any closing thoughts from you guys or anything else you want to say as we sort of wrap up? What are you guys excited for in 2023? Anything right now?
Yeah, I thought maybe also just to celebrate a little bit I guess outside of Sunday stuff that happens. I think, because often, for people, especially if they're new to church, Sunday, that's the main event, which it is the main event in the week. But I just been so grateful to God for everything that He's done, in the school ministry, and obviously having Josh, part of the team this year has been fantastic, and we've really been able to do some awesome things. Had an amazing camp with Hilton College, and a whole lot of guys gave their lives there, and we've felt it from the beginning, but I think next year we really want to up it, is that the school ministry just needs to just get bigger and better, and we need to just there's so much need out there, and linked to that also starting youth, at St. John's for the first time was so special this year. And I mean, it's just been incredible. We started with whatever, 10 kids and having 90, I think we had 100 one Friday at youth. It's just amazing. And now they're starting to come to church, and that's so cool, man. That's been amazing. And then the home groups have really started to kind of gather some momentum as well. So yeah, there's just some really cool things, you kind of outside of Sundays that God is he's just doing his thing, and it's almost what we almost slave to do this year. It's almost that's going to be easy next year, and now we're going to change gear and do more, which is really exciting. So I'm so looking forward to those areas growing and developing. Yeah.
Any closing thoughts from the ladies? Anything else you want to say?
I think we've really covered everything. It's just beautiful to see how people have found their unique and special part to play within a community, and that's really powerful, because they really flourish because the roots are planted, and I'm just excited for what God's going to do next year, and as we continue just to surrender and stay faithful and stay humble, and God is building His church. And it's such a privilege to be a part of it with all of you guys.
Yeah. Annika, anything else?
No, not really. Just as everyone's saying, excited for 2023. That feels weird to say, hey, 2023. That's a mouthful.
We'll get used to it pretty soon. Eh?
Yeah.
After 2 weeks.
And I'm excited for the people we haven't met yet that are coming to our church. I can't wait.
Yeah. I just feel also maybe a challenge, nice challenge, happy challenge for everyone, is we've seen people come to Open Skies and then get stuck in really quickly, and it's almost I can't imagine the church without you. It's did you were here from the beginning, and so maybe a challenge for all of us is what you put in, you're going to get out. If you're looking for community, then be a community, connect with people, make that effort, risk it a little bit. It's a risk to go to church, and it's a risk to put yourself out there. If you don't have a friend and now you got to try and make a friend, it's a risk. But I think every single person that has done that this year, in 2022, they've got more than a reward out of it. They've seen the fruit. So I think for all of us to just put yourself in. Because out of it, I think there's going to be something beautiful that you see individually. Yeah.
So really a lot to look forward to in 2023. The first bit of the year, we're going to have an album launch, which is very exciting.
Yes.
So we're literally just right now just finalizing the mixes that are coming through, and we'll keep you guys posted on that. I think we're aiming for the 29th of Jan to release the album, and then at some point we're actually going to do an album launch up in PMB. It'll be in the first part of the year. We're going to have Vision Sunday, which at the moment is set for the 29th of Jan. You really do not want to miss that, because that is the time that we sort of just talk about everything the church has done, and we actually might break that up into a couple of Sundays, and then we're going to have home groups kicking off again for the year. There's a lot that's going to happen in the first part of the year, and as Graydon said, We really want to invite everybody in to the story. You don't have to be a spectator with all of these good things that God is doing. I mean, if you guys had to sit in our position and see what we get to see, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, with how the church is and how the church is growing and all these awesome things that we've been speaking about right now. Really, the beautiful thing about the church is it was never meant to be about a couple of leaders sort of running the show and then everybody else being there to spectate. The beauty of the church and the thing that we've seen with Open Skies PMB for sure is that there's so many people that have joined the story and got stuck in. And so if you're sitting on the fence or you're going, I'm not sure about this kind of stuff, hopefully this conversation has given you a little bit to think about in 2023 and to go, hey, well, I want to be part of that as well. I want to have my own story at the end of 2023 about how I got stuck in and got to benefit from these amazing things. And we have said it so many times, and I'm going to keep saying it the first part of this year, that I want to challenge each person to go all in. Give God 1 year of your life. We always talk about that and just say, why don't you give God 2023? Why don't you say, I'm going to go all in. I'm not going to base God's faithfulness or anything that I want to see from following Him, the fruit of following Him, from somebody else's half measure. I'm going to go all in my life, and then I'll make up my own mind from there. That is the best thing that we could possibly say about what it means to trust God and see some kind of fruit from following Him. And so that's our challenge to you. We hope that this has been fun and something slightly different, and given you guys some things to, maybe you want to just look back yourself over 2022 and think about some of these things we've been speaking about, and then hopefully really set everybody up to trust God for what's going to come next in 2023. We want to say a massive thank you to this incredible couple for everything they've done this year and or in 2022, because we are now in 2023.
So confusing.
And just how faithful they've been, even though they've had a lot on their plate, and they've just, as always, navigated it so well and with so much authenticity. And
well done,
and you
guys.
guys are amazing. So we're looking forward to doing this again. In
Yeah.
2023,
Let's
and
go again. Yeah.
have you guys back a little bit more, because you're going to sleep a bit more in 2023.
Praise God.
And that'll be nice. It's fantastic, and we're so excited. And God bless everybody. We will see you back in the room on the 8th of Jan. We can't wait to worship with you, to have a full service again on the 8th of Jan. And we really do trust that all of you are keeping so well and having a bit of a break at this time. But we're excited about 2023, and we're looking forward to seeing you soon. God bless everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Happy New Year.